Well, that game gave me a fucking heart attack. Holy crap. The Seattle Seahawks in week 3 grabbed a 38-31 win against the Dallas Cowboys. And oh my God, bro, there are layers to just the ridiculousness of this game. And it starts from the first quarter, where I guess the best word to describe is weird. Okay. And the weirdness starts from just the general sloppiness and the lackadaisical nature of how both teams started off. And you know what? I get it. Both teams are coming off of very emotional wins from week 2. The Dallas Cowboys grabbing a insane win against the choking Atlanta Falcons with the Greg Zuerlein onside kick, and the Seattle Seahawks with the goal line stand against the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, man. It drains you, those kinds of games, but it's the next fucking week. You got to get to it. But not the case in the first quarter. Not necessarily for either teams. And what really epitomized the weirdness of this quarter was, A, the Dallas Cowboys getting a fucking safety, which came in the form of Ezekiel Elliott in the end zone, trying to figure out where to go, and just kind of pausing and letting himself get tackled. And B, DK Metcalf. Ooh, guys, I'm wearing a fucking DK Metcalf jersey, but let me tell you right now, the shit I saw in that first quarter where this motherfucker catches like a 60-yard bomber and waltzes to the end zone with a fucking football like an almond in his hand, just barely clinging onto it, just gets arrogant, doesn't finish the fucking job, and fumbles that shit for a touchback. And you know what? Kudos to Trayvon Diggs, who sped in there on this just lackadaisical effort by DK Metcalf, and Diggs is just there to sniff that shit out, smack the fucking ball. And I thought, I love DK, but my God, Trayvon Diggs, what a fucking stud to do that shit to an arrogant prick who doesn't fucking finish the job of getting the fucking touchdown. Now, granted, boys and girls, granted, my boy DK did come up big in the entire game. And that game-winning fourth quarter touchdown. Well, let's not forget that shit. But this mistake was really what just made this first quarter so upsetting. And as a football fan, you're watching both sides and thinking, what the fuck is wrong with both of these teams? I mean, last week they looked like goddamn world beaters. Right? Emotional wins, rah, rah, rah. And then the first quarter of this game, you're thinking, who the fuck am I watching? This is dog shit. But then you go into the second quarter, both teams showing some semblance of competence, which was nice to see all around. And here's the thing. Tyler Lockett getting the first touchdown in the first quarter. He caps off with the hat trick in the second quarter. And man, oh man. I thought as good as that Dallas Cowboys defense played at times, Russell Wilson and them deep balls, man. You can't. Although, I will say this. If you dismantle that O-line, lots of things can happen for the opposing defense. Damian Lewis getting injured this game was rough. Mike Iupati getting injured in this game, rough. You still got Dwayne Brown. Pacic is all right. Jamarco Jones is okay. Brandon Shell's been all right. But generally speaking, this O-line is like a fucking volunteer program. And most of the times, these volunteers get their asses handled by the professionals on the other side. By someone like Alton Smith, who, good fucking Lord, 3 sacks on the day. The Dallas Cowboys had 4 sacks on Russell Wilson, and Alton Smith had 3. This man had 3 fucking sacks. The pass rush for the Dallas Cowboys was made that much easier because the O-line is a fucking volunteer program for the Seattle Seahawks. Now, again, thankfully, the Seattle Seahawks were able to, gouge the Dallas defense and put some points on the board, but this made me very nervous. I mean, this was a very physical defense that was getting at Russell, that was getting at the offense. I mean, Trayvon Diggs, like I said, bitch-smacking reality into DK Metcalf, but he also had 9 tackles on the day. So, this became kind of a point of frustration and worry. But on the other side, you also had the Dallas offense just rolling and humming. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott getting his, and Dak Prescott just fighting it through the air and on the ground, just doing work. And I thought, okay, well, if we can fight this off, we're going to be okay. But I was reminded of this stat going into halftime where the Seattle Seahawks were leading 23-15. The Seahawks are 56-0 when leading by 4 points heading into halftime. That is some crazy ass stat, man. 56-0 when they lead by 4 points at halftime. So remembering that stat, I thought, okay, we should be okay by all means. But with everything that we just watched, like I talked about, with the defense, with the offense, with just kind of this lackadaisical nature of both sides, I thought, this is still going to be a very difficult battle towards the very end. And man, oh man. I feel like the third quarter, despite it being a chippy affair, was where the Dallas Cowboys really kind of lost it. And special teams, really being the opposite of special here, or special whatever case you want to fucking call it, they bumble. They fuck up. And Seattle taking the opportunity on these things, you make noise in this third quarter. Although Dallas, makes it uneasy because Dak Prescott has been pretty hot this fucking season. And, game is way too close. And at this point, I have to contextualize too. I have to go out. Okay, so I watched the first half of this game and I was actually out and about, grabbing some lunch and I had to do some fucking errands and just scrolling through the updates on the Score app, watching this game happen and unfold. I thought, okay, Dallas is getting theirs. Seattle is barely hanging on in defense, and hopefully in the fourth quarter we're going to be okay. But then you find out the fourth quarter was the moment where the battle was won, but at what cost? Because injuries piled on, man. And we're going to list all the injuries here after the game, review and talking about all the fucking things here, but can I talk about this one thing real quick? Tristan Hill. All right. Defensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys, Tristan Hill. You are a fucking piece of shit. You are an absolute trash piece of shit. The fact that while everybody is down, Chris Carson is down on the fucking ground, and your big fat fucking ass has to roll over on his goddamn knees and his legs while he is down, trying to exacerbate whatever injury he had. He had a knee injury right before then. And you just trying to fucking roll on the goddamn ground, your fat fucking ass. And you're not seeing a fucking problem with that? Go fuck yourself, you fat fucking piece of shit. Are you kidding me with that? Tristan fucking Hill, you are a cocksucker. And oh yeah, I'm a big football player, so I can just instill violence whenever I want if I get the wrong fucking criticism to your face. Get the fuck out of here, you fat piece of fucking shit. You should get fucking suspended for that goddamn clown work. Honestly, it's people like you who are such fucking scumbags that ruin the subtlety and nuance of the game that you ruin the sport for everybody else. And Tristan Hill, honestly, if that man was on my team and did that shit, I'd cut him. I'd cut his ass. I'd say, you're a fucking scumbag. Get the fuck out of here, you goddamn fat piece of shit. And thank God Chris Carson's injury wasn't that significant because holy hell, Tristan Hill would have faced the wrath of the Seahawks army, man. Good Lord. And not saying we should incite violence or any of that shit like this fat fucking Tristan Hill, but bro, that fucking rolling of your big fucking gelatinous ass, it's unforgivable. And I'm so fucking glad Pete Carroll took note of that too. When Pete Carroll says something pisses him off, something really does piss him off. Pete is kind of the nicer dude, although he's kind of a dipshit in some regards. When the nice dude gets angry, that is a big point of contention. So Tristan Hill of the Dallas Cowboys, you should go fuck yourself in your fat fucking ass, you big fat cunt. Jesus Christ, man. And you know what? I'm glad the Dallas Cowboys in that regard fell apart in the fourth quarter. Because as much as I can respect the Cowboys, man, and I love the history of the Dallas Cowboys, I respect head coach Tom Landry, who is arguably one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history. And I respect the squad, specifically a guy like Dak Prescott, who is a leader, who is somebody who might get all this shit thrown at him, but he'll still fight. He's a fucking warrior. But man, this Dallas Cowboys team can be really unlikable. They can be. I mean, Tristan Hill really made it a point of emphasis to just rile me up. And, you know, in that fourth quarter where one of the final last drives, you know, Dallas Cowboys are up 31-30. And that anger is just seething in. I'm thinking, oh my God, we better fucking win. We better fucking win. And it's Russell Wilson who leads the Seattle Seahawks down the field, marching left, right, center. And DK Metcalf with that clutch touchdown. 2-point conversion. Success. 38-31. And Dak throws an interception on the last drive. And that's the game, boys and girls. That's the game. Now, usually, you know, whenever I did these Seahawks reviews, I would go through every single one of the touchdowns, every single one of the timestamps. But what I realize is, as significant as those are, the real significant thing is going through the fucking injury list. Oh my God. Because that is actually what will be indicative of what will happen in the next week for a lot of these teams. So with the Seattle Seahawks, what really frightened me was the injury list that came from this game. Now, I don't really have the exact thing on Mike Iupati at all, but these are the injury, significant names that came out after this game. Chris Carson, knee. Not as bad as expected, but Jesus fucking Christ, Tristan Hill, you are a fat piece of shit. Go fuck yourself. Jamal Adams, groin, will be day-to-day, which is a bummer. My new best friend getting injured is not something I want to see. I don't want to see that. It bums me out. Damian Lewis, our new linesman. Ankle, questionable. He was actually playing pretty well, too. He had a couple of brain farts in the Atlanta game, but Damian Lewis has been doing pretty damn well. And, yeah, now he's questionable. And, to bum me out even more, Jordan Brooks. The rookie linebacker that we got in the first round, and he has a knee issue, and will be sidelined for a couple of weeks. So we won, but at what cost? It's a bummer. It's a bummer, man. Our defense did well. They did okay. But my new best friend Jamal Adams being out is going to bum me out for a while. But hey, man, this is all to the kudos and credit of the Dallas Cowboys offense. They did pretty damn well. I mean, Dak Prescott, 472 yards, 37 passes on 57 attempts, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. Yeah, those 3 turnovers, not that great. But, hey, he kept the team in the game through the entire fucking ordeal. You rushed 6 times, 26 yards. Gallup, Wilson, and Cooper, solid receiving core that Dak's got right now. Zeke is still good, but man, this Cowboys team really has to get it together. Obviously, going into the Seahawks game, I thought the Seahawks would win, but this NFC East is kind of a joke all around. So the Cowboys, I mean, at this point, you seem to be the favorites by all means and by all the metrics and by all the roster sheets. So if you can stop fucking filleting yourselves and play up to your potential, that should be good. Because every season, that's what I see from the Cowboys. I mean, I respect the squad, but it's a lot of talent that overrate themselves and trip and choke. So very curious to see how the Dallas Cowboys will do in the rest of the season. So good game from you guys, and hopefully maybe we'll see you guys in the playoffs and maybe get some playoff revenge. But hey, it's okay. Because Russell Wilson erases all those negative feelings in our hearts. He really does. I mean, this guy, man, 350. I can't fucking read my writing sometimes. I'm messy as fuck. But Russell Wilson is a messy as fuck with 315 yards, 27 throws on 40 attempts, and 27 passes, dude. Can't even get my goddamn wording right. Because Russell Wilson's just immaculate way of playing quarterback just blows my fucking mind because, 27 passes on 40 attempts. 5 touchdowns with 0 turnovers. 5 touchdowns. 5. This man's got 14 fucking touchdowns and 1 interception in 3 games. What? Russell Wilson is on fire. Yes, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett combined for 210 yards, which is outstanding. Those two guys are brilliant, 1 and 2. But Russell Wilson, man, oh my Lord, just watching this guy week in, week out this year, it's looking as though you're watching the MVP reel. And you hope for this team's sake that all the wins can accumulate into maybe a number 1 seed in the NFC and a Super Bowl run. I don't know. I hope. But this was a good game. I mean, sloppy as all hell, but a win is a win is a win. So off we go into week 4 where the Seattle Seahawks will be facing the Miami Dolphins in Miami. So can't wait for that one where the Seattle Seahawks goes to the East Coast. Yet I don't think it's going to be all that cumbersome for them. Yet I do still see a shootout happening between those two teams. So very interesting, very fun to keep our eyes on in this NFL season, boys and girls, as the Seahawks go 3-0. It's going to be a good time. So boys and girls, that does it for me. Follow me at the Sky Lounge and all the links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily contents. Go Hawks!